Hey YouTube, Twig here, bringing you all an update to my Harpie Lady Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile for September 2023. Following in suit with the Amazonas deck profile, I figured we'd stick to the My Valentine theme and also do a Harpie Lady deck profile, just with some updates for the changes I've made to the deck. The Harpie Lady deck has always been an interesting one with all the many different extra deck summons we can do, including the Cyber/Harpie Lady, the Harpie's Pet Dragon Xyz monster, and then also the Link 2 monster they have for more protection lineup for your Harpie monsters, and then the overall swarm and bounce power that this deck can perform as well for your Harpie monsters and your opponent's monsters as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So we'll go ahead and start off with the main deck monsters. For our Harpie monsters, we're running 3 copies of Harpie Perfumer. This card, the name becomes Harpie Lady while on the field or in the graveyard, as do the majority of the Harpie Lady monsters. If this card is normal or special summon, you can add 1 spell or trap from your deck to your hand that specifically lists the card Harpie Lady Sisters and its text. If you control a level 5 or higher Harpie monster, when you activate this effect, you can also add a second such card with a different name from your deck, and then you can all use the effect of Harpie Perfumer once per turn. So the search power definitely does help, and then having cards like Harpie's Pet Dragon Fearsome Fire Blast as a special summon option onto the field as well to give you the 2 additional searches when this card is summoned out, as that additional play definitely does give you more of a setup. But then even just being able to add cards like Elegant Egotist to special summon Harpie Lady Sisters onto the field gives you that extra monster source as well thanks to this card. We're also running 3 copies of Harpie Chandler. I don't know where I put the 3rd copy. I have a Harpie Oracle just as a placeholder. Hopefully I can find my 3rd copy somewhere. But with Harpie Chandler, you can discard 1 Harpie card to special summon 1 Harpie monster from your deck in defense position, except for Harpie Chandler. You can only use this effect of Harpie Chandler once per turn, and while you control a dragon monster, this card's level becomes 7, and this card's name becomes Harpie Lady while on the field or in the graveyard. So the special summon play comes into the form of just being able to summon out cards like Harpie's Pet Dragon Fearsome Fire Blast as that additional monster can then give you access to rank 7 plays, or if it doesn't go for that, you can always just summon out another Harpie monster onto the field as well, including getting a special summon out for Harpie Perfumer and then having the 2 level 4 Harpie monsters needed to go into your Cyber/Harpie Lady. I also run the 3 copies of Harpie Lady 1. This card's name is always treated as Harpie Lady, so with you only being able to have 3 Harpie Lady in your deck to begin with, this is my choice of the Harpie Lady spot. Since all wind monsters gain 300 attack, there are some other non-Harpie Lady wind monsters we're running in the deck as well, so an attack boost to any wind monsters, even the ones we run in the extra deck, is an added bonus thanks to this card, and why I prefer it over some of the other ones. And the fact that if you can get multiple Harpie Lady 1 on the field, the attack boost will also stack, giving you a total of up to 900 if you have all 3 of them on the field to begin with. And for the last of the 3 ofs, I also run 3 copies of Harpie's Pet Dragon Fearsome Fire Blast. Monsters cannot target level 6 or lower Harpie monsters for attacks. You can only use each of the following effects of Harpie's Pet Dragon Fearsome Fire Blast once per turn. If you control level 6 or lower wind monster, you can special summon this card from your hand in defense position. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can send 1 winged beast monster from your deck to the graveyard, setting up more Harpie monsters in your graveyard as well, whether it be for a special summon or a recycle power back into the deck. This card just makes as an extra resource extender from your hand a potential special summon target to make Harpie Chandler level 7, and it's overall just a better card to run in the deck for your Harpie Pet Dragon spot than the original Harpie's Pet Dragon, which really doesn't do much for the deck to begin with. And then for some of the 1-ofs for the Harpie monsters, the 1 copy of Harpie Oracle. This card's name becomes Harpie Lady while on the field or in the graveyard. You can only use each of the following effects of Harpie Oracle once per turn. If you control level 5 or higher Harpie monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, which can be done with either Harpie Lady Sisters or Harpie's Pet Dragon Fearsome Fire Blast. And if this card is normal or special summon, you can add 1 spell or trap from your graveyard to your hand that specifically lists Harpie Lady Sisters during the end phase of the turn. It's a 1-of just because it's a little slower than some of the other Harpie cards we run in the deck. For that recycle power, you can get cards like Elegant Egotist back into your hand to then reuse the following turn again. And also the 1 Harpie Harpist for more end phase search as well if it's in the graveyard because it was sent there this turn, being able to add 1 level 4 winged beast type monster with 1500 less attack from your deck to your hand. And then the last of the 1-ofs for the Harpie monsters being the 1 copy of Harpie Lady Sisters, just needing it to special summon off of your Elegant Egotist for that summon from the hand or deck. And then for the only other non-Harpie monster that I run for the actual engine, the 1 copy of Tempest, Dragon Ruler of Storms, more for the banish power just to summon out this dragon onto the field, giving you, once again, level 7 options for Harpie Chandler as well, with the extra deck and your rank 7 monsters. And then also just the 3 Ash Blossom for the hand trap spot. In the deck, we do run this card, and then Harpie's Featherstorm, so having complete shutdown of your opponent's monster effects, and then just their searches in general, definitely can help for what the overall first turn combo is meant to do with the deck to begin with. Moving on now to the spells, I run 3 copies of Hysteric Sign. When it's activated, you can add 1 Elegant Egotist from your deck or graveyard to your hand, and during the end phase of the turn this card was sent from the field or hand to the graveyard, you can add up to 3 Harpie cards with different names from your deck to your hand. You go and activate 1 Hysteric Sign effect per turn, and only once that turn. So you could use Hysteric Sign as the discard of the Harpie card needed for Harpie Chandler to then gain the additional searches at the end of the turn and getting the special summon off of Harpie Chandler. So even if your opponent does Ash Blossom the Harpie Chandler special summon, you'll still have the discarded Hysteric Sign play to use there at the end of the turn. Or if you need the Elegant Egotist for more of your special summon plays, you can just activate this card from your hand to begin with and search out the Elegant Egotist. And as long as you control the Harpie monster on the field, you can then go for that special summon from your deck for your Harpie Lady or Harpie Lady Sisters. Also running the 3 copies of Elegant Egotist. If Harpie Lady or Harp is on the field, special summon 1 Harpie Lady or 1 Harpie Lady Sisters from your hand or deck. So you need the original Harpie Lady for this special summon, since it is regarded always as Harpie Lady, or just the Harpie Lady Sisters, as I mentioned before. Whichever one you summon out onto the field with this card, it's just more of an extender play for you to summon out your bigger monsters, whether it be for the attack boost or to get the benefits of having your level 5 or higher Harpie monster in the form of Harpie Lady Sisters on the field also. And then the 1 copy of Alluring Mirror Split. When a Harpie Lady or Harpie Lady Sisters you control is destroyed by battle, you can special summon 1 Harpie monster from your deck with a different original name. So it's just more extending for your Harpie monsters on the field as well. And the 1 Feather Rest, with this card being able to recycle back Harpie Lady and Harpie Lady Sisters from your graveyard and then draw 1 card. And if you control level 5 or higher Harpie monster, you can draw 2 cards instead. So more draw power when you control the higher level monsters. And I'm showing the other higher level monsters, but even just controlling Cyber/Harpie Lady, which you can make with the synchro summon of a Harpie monster treated as a tuner, can work with all these card effects as well. And then also the 1 copy of Harpie's Hunting Ground, were this card for the added option for the search power of all your Harpie monsters being able to then have the search for the additional destruction of spell and traps on the field, even being able to destroy your Hysteric Sign for the search power at the end of the turn. I thought of running Harpie Queen in the deck. If I were to do so, I'd probably drop down the number of Harpie's Pet Dragon, Fearsome Fireblast, to 2, and then put in a copy of this card to be able to discard and search for Harpie's Hunting Ground, but player preference if you want that card in the deck as well. And then lastly, the 1 Harpie's Feather Duster. I normally don't like main decking this card, but having a Harpie card that is searchable off of our Featherstorm, even from the graveyard for the recycle power, makes it all worth it in my opinion. And then for the rest of the 1 of spells, the 1 copy of Foolish Burial and the 1 copy of Call by the Grave for more graveyard setup, and then just stopping our opponent's graveyard effects with this spell as well. And also the 3 copies of Forbidden Droplet. Now this card I like because it combos pretty well with Hysteric Sign as well. If you go for the initial activation of Hysteric Sign, adding the Elegant Egotist, then you at least have a card to send to the graveyard of the play of Forbidden Droplet, meaning your opponent can activate any spells in response, stopping and negating the effect of an opponent's monster, halving its attack, and at the end of the turn you have the search on your opponent's turn by sending the Hysteric Sign to the graveyard to have plenty of Harpie monsters ready to go on your turn. And then for the traps, I run 3 copies of Harpie's Featherstorm. If you control Wing Beast type monster until the end of this turn, negate any monster effects your opponent activates. If you control a Harpie monster, you can activate this card from your hand. And if this card in its owner's spell and trap zone is destroyed by an opponent's card, you can add 1 Harpie Feather Duster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. So even if your opponent targets this card and destroys it, you can activate it in response, getting your initial negation of their cards and then the additional search of your Harpie Feather Duster. And then also 3 copies of Gozen Match for the initial lockdown as well, being able to, so each player can only control 1 attribute of a monster, which really doesn't stop us with our extra deck choices and can definitely stop a good amount of what your opponent may be able to access in their extra deck or cards they play in their main deck. And moving on now to the extra deck, I run 2 copies of Cyber/Harpie Lady. For this card's Synchro Summon, you can treat 1 Harpie monster you control as a tuner. This card's name becomes Harpie Lady while on the field or in the graveyard. And when a spell, trap, or card effect is activated except during the damage step, quick effect, you can target 1 monster your opponent controls or 1 Harpie monster you control and return it to the hand. You can only use this effect of Cyber/Harpie Lady once per turn, so it's just a response to your opponent initially trying to do one of their plays, having a bounce effect whenever they try to use a spell or trap. Thanks to this card, but Cyber/Harpie Lady also meets the requirement for a good amount of the other cards we may try to resolve in the deck for the additional searches for the cards like Harpie Perfumer or our Harpie Resort as well, or Feathers Rests is the name of the card as well. And then for the Xyz monsters, the 1 copy of Harpie's Pet Phantasmal Dragon, a little more difficult to summon out, but still gives you more of a direct attack play as an option using 3 level 4 wind monsters. The 1 Lightning Chidori, I would say I go into this way more than Harpie's Pet Phantasmal for the bounce power it has, and then also the number 11 Big Eye for the rank 7 of choice, being able just to take my opponent's resources with this card as well. Then the 1 Baguska, the 1 Abyss Dweller, and the 1 Zeus for the remainder of the extra deck monsters. And then for the Link monsters, I run the 1 copy of the Harpie Conductor. For the option, its name becomes Harpie Lady while on the field. Just needing 2 wind monsters means I can also use cards like Tempest to make this card if need be. And if a Harpie monster you control be destroyed by outer card effect, you can destroy 1 spell or trap you control instead. Destroying, once again, cards like our Hysteric Sign, or also just having that option for us to get the search off of that card as well while protecting our own cards. And then also the 1 copy of Underclock Taker, the 1 copy of Greatfly, 1 Win the Wind Charmer, the 1 IP Masquerena, Nightmare Phoenix, and Nightmare Unicorn to finish off the rest of the extra deck. As for some of the go-to plays in the deck, opening up the Hysteric Sign and a Harpie monster definitely does help with the overall summon that you can do in the deck. So what you'll have with your initial play is you can go for the Hysteric Sign search, with this card being able to add an Elegant Egotist from your deck to your hand. So then you can add the spell choice to your hand, and then also for the initial summon, you have the better option for your summon if you do start off with the Harpie Chandler in your hand, because then what you can do is you added the Egotist to your hand. You normal summon out the Harpie Chandler, which name also becomes Harpie Lady while in the field or in the graveyard. You can then activate your Elegant Egotist, and this can special summon the Harpie Lady Sisters from your deck to the field. And then you can use the Harpie Chandler play, discarding a Harpie card from your hand. This is where, activating the Hysteric Sign gives you the additional boost, so then you just need that 1 additional Harpie card in your hand to discard for the Harpie Chandler. You can only activate 1 Hysteric Sign effect per turn, so this is why discarding one of these will not be the best benefit because you won't get the end phase search, but discarding the Harpie card will then allow you to special summon out your named card, being the Harpie Perfumer, and then you can add 1 spell or trap from your deck to your hand that specifically lists Harpie Lady Sisters in its name. So then with this card, you can search out the additional Elegant Egotist, which is not a once per turn, and on top of that, also the Harpie's Feather Rest as well. So then with these 2 cards added to your hand, you can then activate once again the Elegant Egotist, special summoning out a Harpie Lady from your deck. So this time you'll summon out the Harpie Lady 1 onto the field. And then from there, you can go for the initial Link play. Having the 2 searches off of the Perfumer came in handy, especially for that play. And then from there, if you have the initial last card in your hand, which is the Fearsome Fire Blast as well. This could be the other special summon card, but let's say if you don't have this, that's why we initially relied on the Harpie Lady Sister play there to summon out. You can then go for the level 8 Synchro play to summon out our Cyber/Harpie Lady, and then you can use the Harpie Lady Sisters and the Harpie Lady 1 to then go for the Harpie Conductor onto the field, giving you the protection for your Harpie monster by destroying the Hysteric Sign on your opponent's turn, which will then in end phase give you an additional search off of this card, having the bounce power when your opponent tries to activate a spell or trap. But you also have the second card in your hand, being the Harpie's Feather Rest, to then target 3 Harpie Lady and or Harpie Lady Sisters in your graveyard, shuffling them back into the deck, the 3, and giving you a draw 2 on top of all of that for replenishing cards in your hand also. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed. Like I said, with the Amazonas deck just being updated, I wanted to update another one of my Valentine's decks. And Harpie Ladies definitely, I would say, needed the update for some of the changes that I made to the deck as well. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And Kira, Twig out.